Hello and welcome again to Clint, Keith at Clint, that's me. So for newcomers to this channel, welcome, and I have to remind you, if you like any of the content, just a little bit, give us a like and subscribe, because then it helps me to maintain the channel and also puts other content on. Okay, well today we're not in the workshop, as you can see. So we've got some thinking time at the moment. What we're going to think about today is how to make your own unique product. And the unique products, how do you do that? I'll give you an example and then we'll look at it further. Here's one example. There you go. Unique example of a chess set. What's this in the middle? What's that got to do with it? Well, I'll tell you. You might not realise that is a unique product. It was very interesting because I bought it yesterday, and it was made by some primary school pupils raising money for funds, and it's unique because it's been handmade. Look at it, it's beautiful. Yes, keyring, but the time putting the time and effort into something like that is really nice. So although I didn't want a keyring, I liked it, so I bought it. They got other things as well, and that's from a school in Barnsley, primary school in the Barnsley area. So it's very enterprising of these young boys and girls to come up with something like this, and they got other things as well, but I couldn't buy everything. Anyway, that's one side. I'll put that one aside at the moment. I want to look at now this chess set. This chess set, okay, it's one I made earlier, of course, in good Blue Peter fashion. There's a rationale for doing this, and the reason I'll spend a little bit of time explaining to you is why I decided to do. I didn't particularly want a chess set at the time, but what happened was that I was at that particular time selling machine tools, lathes and milling machines and all sorts of ancillary items. And excuse me, I bought a lathe which was an old South Bend, and I bought it from when Jensen Motors went into liquidation, and that was in the 70s. Wow, going back some, but some of you will remember the Jensen Interceptor. But anyway, I bought this machine, and it was an old South Bend. The South Bend is very similar to the Boxford. It's a bit of an argument which came first, but it was rather quick, but it was a bit worn. But at that time, I'd been away from manufacturing and turning and doing the practical aspect of it for quite some time, and I thought I'd like to get back into it. So I'd think of something that could give me some practice of getting into it. And I thought to myself, I'll make a chess set. So there's the chess set. And the reason why it's a good idea, and it's a good idea for people who are just starting, because it gets you practice to making things on a lathe that you probably only just purchased, and it gives you practice to make something. It doesn't matter too much if it's a few thousandth of an inch out, but it gives you practice in turning. Now, I'll tell you, I had a few problems with this. I'll just show you one. It's actually made out of aluminium, and that's a pawn. Now, I had to think of a theme. So there's different themes for chess sets. You can get military type things. You might even be able to get Star Wars chess sets and things like that. But I wanted to do, and even Harry Potter chess sets, but that wasn't about when I was thinking of doing this. And the rationale was, in addition to getting the practice in, I decided on a theme. Now, I've always been interested in nautical things, boats and sailing and things like that. So I thought, I'll make a nautical theme. But then, how do I design what can be nautical and navy-like or sailing and seafaring fashion? And I thought to myself, yeah, well, because you've got to make 5 different items. So you've got a pawn, that's a pawn, and then you've got a castle, that's 2, a knight, 3, and then you've got a bishop, 4, and then you've got a queen and a king. I'm going to go into the queen and king later, because the queen and king on this particular set is a bit special, and it's an exercise in precision. So first of all, you need to decide on a theme. Think of a theme. You might even want to make a draft set, or checkers as they call it in the United States. But anyway, I decided for the pawn I would make it shaped like a bollard or a mooring cleat. And you've probably seen things like that on the quayside near harbours, and the boats and the ships tie up to it. Sometimes they get you get 2 together like that, and then they put ropes or warps, as we call it in the business, around the both of them. Okay, so I thought that's the pawn sorted out. The other thing is I wanted to make the pawn not too difficult to make, because remember, we've got just one here, but you've got 16 of them. You've got 16 of them to make, 16 black, 16 white, or red and white, or whatever colour, or red and black, or whatever colour you decide to do it. I had thought of making it in brass, and then I thought, yeah, well, that'd be a nice goldy colour, but what else can I do? Well, in actual fact, you can chrome plate brass, but I decided that brass was it's very, very messy, and I thought I'll go for aluminium. At that time, I had very little experience with aluminium turning, so mainly I'd been dealing with special steels, very hard stuff and that. So I had to inquire about aluminium, and I thought aluminium because that's okay, that colour, but you want another colour, and I decided on that gold. On retrospect, maybe I could have done it red, because red is a traditional chess set piece, traditionally. Anyway, the aluminium lends itself to anodising, and that's the result. So it created problems, because when I was researching the aluminium and I wanted to anodise it, the suppliers speaking to say, anodising, and I spoke to anodising companies. They said, yeah, we can anodise the aluminium, but it needs to be an anodising grade. And I thought, I'll ask the suppliers for an anodising grade. Big mistake, really big mistake, because they'd got it and they supplied me with sufficient stock to bought it 9 foot long, 3 metre lengths of 1 inch diameter. So the problem was, when I started to machine this aluminium, I can tell you that I've never had so much trouble trying to machine anything, even very hard exotic materials like titanium and stuff like that. Cast iron stainless steels, it was a piece of cake compared to this aluminium, because I have to tell you folks that the anodising grade aluminium does not lend itself to machining. I'm telling you, you need a machining grade, because the thing is, you got the benefit of my experience here, because if you went out and got anodising grade, you'd have terrific trouble. And I had lots of problems when it comes to turning it, because what was happening is that when you're running a cut along it, instead of making a nice smooth surface like this is, and chips coming off it freely, free cutting in effect, machining grade. But it didn't do that, and it was sort of tearing it. Didn't matter what kind of tool I used, it was really, really difficult. So now you're saying, oh, that finish looks okay. Yeah, it does. But believe me, it took a lot of doing, and I had to make a lot of alterations to tool speeds, feed rates, which was mainly by hand anyway. But you can catch that on other videos. You don't necessarily need power feeds. And people who've got smaller lathes might not have power feeds anyway. But anyway, the thing was, I had to alter the feed rates, cutting angles and things to get this particular finish. It was terrifically difficult, and it took me maybe 3 times as long or 4 times as long to manufacture one piece. And we've got 32 items on the chessboard. So we've got 16 pawns and 16 pieces. So there you have that. Now, so we got that the pawns sorted out. And bear in mind, the difficulties I had on making this was all the way through. I really should have, easy in hindsight, should have scrapped the whole job lot and then started with machining grade. But I was told that the machining grade didn't anodise very good, but it does. I've done it before on other things. But anyway, this was okay. So now I thought, what can we do in a nautical theme to see what we can do for the other pieces? And then I thought of a castle. So I tried to keep it as simple as possible, because remember, this was just to get me accustomed to machining lathes again. So I thought that's a castle looking object. See? And I could have made it a bit more elaborate. I could have put cuts, vertical sides down, vertical cuts down there to castellate it more as a castle. But I was interested in the turning aspect, and this is how it came out. But I did like it. It stood the test of time, and bear in mind, I manufactured this set in the 70s. So as I say, it's one I did earlier. So that was the castle then. And then on the night, I thought, what can we do for a night? And I thought, what does knights have? And I thought, oh, on horseback with lancers. And I thought, seahorses. But the seahorses don't have lances. But anyway, the design for the knight finished up like that. And you could see that's like a lance, and there's some marker buoys very similar. When you look at artistic license, they have different shapes, so that could be okay. So I was happy at that as a nautical theme. And bear in mind, the nautical theme continued, because if you look at the pawn I made, from there to there, it's basically a pawn with a lance on it. See? So I tried to get the theme right, and put a little bit of shape to it. There's a little step on that, on just there. And you can do this. And if you look at my website, click onto the About Us page on this video section you're looking at, and there's a blue thing. It says Keith Langley International. That's me. Click on that, goes onto my website, contact us page then you want, and you can send me a message. It enables you, at the moment, you can join our technical section, TCAS, technical assist section, and you can get more information on how to make these. I won't give you the dimensions, because I want you to make a unique product. So I don't mind you copying this, that's fine, but you're not copying it exactly, because I'm not going to tell you the dimensions, apart from general overall. And apart from the fact it was 1 inch diameter stock. So then I thought, what we're going to do for the bishop. So the bishop, important piece on a chess set. And this is what I thought about a bishop. When you're coming into, for those of you who've done sailing, you look at starboard port and marker buoys. They're sort of that shape. And there's different colours of buoys, of course. Port and starboard end markers. This is a starboard end marker buoy, which would in nautical terms be green. But it looks similar to that. So I decided on the port end marker buoys are in red and or red and white, but really red. That's the port end. The I'm going to get mixed up now. Yeah, port red, starboard green. So anyway, that's silver, and that's anodized gold. So when you're going to make them, it's all right. You see, it can get a bit boring, but persevere with it. If you haven't got the patience, don't tackle it. Because once you've made one of these, and you've got to make 16 of them, and try to make them all the same size, and the same length, and that gives you practice in inaccuracy. Okay? So remember that. Now then, we've got a rule here, straight edge. This is important because if you take a straight edge along there, these pawns here, you can see it there, on there, you find out that most of them are within a few thousandths of an inch. It's not important, but to get the practice, this is the object in practicing and getting familiar with turning again. So I'll try to make it as accurate as possible, and the dimensions on the diameters and that, make them the same. You can do that with calipers. You don't need micrometers for that. And then it gets you practicing in manufacturing again. So there was we've done the pawn, we've done the castle, knight, bishop, remember, that's a port hand marker. When you come into harbour, that is on the port hand side. And then what I'm going to do is there's the queen. Now this is special, this queen and the king. Right, now what I'm going to do is to tell you about that in the next video, because the queen and king have a very special feature on this, which is an exercise in real accuracy. And I'll show you what it was, and you can learn how to do that on my TCAS section on my website. And it doesn't cost anything to join. But in the meantime, please subscribe. I need some more subscriptions. And people tell me I'm not getting them because I forgot to ask you to subscribe, please. So if you like this channel and what I'm doing here, hoping to achieve something anyway, even if you like it a little bit, give us a like and hit the subscribe button. And in the meantime, you might find it beneficial, because this was before I started making the world famous hypergraph. But check out my video on the masterclass in marketing and the introduction to a new channel. Check it out now. Okay, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure to meet you all again, and see you next time. Bye.